How do you stand out right now with no additions and no additives? How do you stand out? How are you different from other people, from other creators around you? This is so important because the more that you know how you're different, the more you can utilize it in your content, the more you can use it to attract the audience you want. And the first thing we know about how you're different is we got to put you in your videos. Now, it might seem obvious to a lot of you, but I can't tell you how many YouTube channels, how many creators I go to, and I watch maybe 3, 4, 5 videos and I know nothing about them. And I'm not saying that their content isn't good. What I'm saying is that I learn nothing about their uniqueness, about their creativity, about their perspective on the world. It seems that they are pretty much shielding or masking themselves from their content. Even some of you probably in the chat, you've compartmentalized yourself from your content. But you have to realize that your audience needs you in your videos. That's how you stand out the best. So are you putting yourself in your videos? And this is really about what you bring to videos that no one else can. What are you doing that is so different from everyone else? I think that the more time that creators would spend knowing how they're different from other people, and I mean all differences, right? The quirks, the tics, the weirdness, like when you learn what those things are, you can use your quirks to your advantage. You can use them intentionally. So I want to ask you guys, how are you using your quirks intentionally in your content? A lot of you have seen my YouTube channel and you know that I believe that being relatable is so that people can see themselves in you. It's all about letting yourself be prepared so that you can present well when you record. And I used to have a professor back in college that would say, prior proper planning prevents poor performance. I know that's like a success tip that a lot of people say, but it's so true. When you prepare, you can adequately use your quirks intentionally in your content, and it stands out in a way that really blending in just doesn't. So if we're going to prepare well, there's a couple of things that we have to do. And I have a tip for you right now if you're listening to me. Commit to creativity. Commit to creativity. Now, this might sound kind of like a woo-woo type of thing, right? But when I was in college, I went to theater school and I went to school for theater performance. So Shakespeare and Meisner and all those types of things I was learning. And one of the things that I learned in theater school 101 is yes and. It's a concept that we use in improv. Yes and. If someone gives you an imaginary object, you accept it and you say, yes, and I'm going to add to whatever this object is. And it's all about saying yes to the opportunity. And so one of the things that we have to do to commit to creativity is to take our creativity seriously. Read that I did not say take yourself seriously, but take your creativity seriously. I think that children are the best example of this. Children's imaginations are absolutely incredible. And somewhere along the way toward adulthood, we completely forget how to play pretend. We forget how to be imaginative, how to buy in to whatever circumstances that we have. But this is something that I want you guys to really take hold to. How can you buy into your imagination, your quirks, your uniqueness while you are on this platform? How can you imagine and be uninhibited like a child? One of the examples I think of is when kids get common household items, right? They can endow that common household item with the intensity of a lightsaber, right? They can play pretend. It's like, pew, pew, pew. Like they're just ready to go. And I really think that as adults, we have gotten so serious and so authentic and boring. We're just boring because we have not committed to creativity. We haven't committed to being imaginative. And one thing about children's imagination, and this is something that is going to be helpful for you on YouTube, they are so convicted about what they're doing. If you ask a child that their wooden spoon is now a lightsaber, if you ask them to explain it, they will tell you the size, they will tell you how fierce and intense it is. That is how committed and we need to be to our creativity and our content. We need to be so convicted that no one can come in and tell us, you know what, your videos aren't very useful. Well, I'm convicted and committed to this process. And so I'm going to continue until I really find my own ability, my own creativity, my own imagination.